the nice lady. Settle this like women. What? It's more you guys here than me.
What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost, and it took way longer than it should have, but the time is finally here. One of the worst, most cringy, preachy shows on television is finally going away, and that is Supergirl. Supergirl is one of the best examples of get woke, go broke that you can find, because it, almost single-handedly, I would argue, started the Arrowverse down this path to where it is now. Everything getting terrible ratings, all the focus on identity politics. It is honestly maybe the main reason that I stopped watching the Arrowverse, something that I used to watch a ton of, but it became unbearable for me. And now we have this news today from Bounding Into Comics. CW axes Supergirl after season 6 following season 5's declining viewership. And declining viewership is a nice way to put it. It was absolutely terrible, abysmal ratings, an embarrassment for the CW and for DC Comics, to be quite honest with you. And like I said, what they had going with Arrowverse, what they started with, could have been so incredible for so long, but they went down this road of woke identity politics instead of focusing on these incredible characters, incredible stories that they had to pull from. Literally anything in the history of DC Comics could have been at their disposal, but they decided to focus on these other things. And we'll get into exactly the reasons why this show failed. The CW will cancel Supergirl following its 6th season that is expected to debut on the network in 2021. Deadline reports this decision to cancel the show came... Let's see, how did this decision come? I'm sure it wasn't because it was getting great ratings, right? How did this decision come? After producers, the studio, the network, and Benoist came to a decision that was better to end the show with a longer final season. Yes, because the ratings have absolutely tanked. We all know this. And Melissa Benoist, that is how you're supposed to say it. That's what she says. I think probably likely the name is originally Benoit, but maybe people don't want to be associated with that name too much. I don't know. But she does say it's Benoist. Now, in speaking of Melissa Benoist, I do think that, I don't think she's a spectacular actress or anything, but I do think she's good, and I think there was potential for her to be an incredible Supergirl. But what they decided to do with the show, the route they decided to take, instead of focusing on her character and her story, they made it so much about other things, identity politics and women power, that they just completely lost the plot with her character. Such a shame. Andriva also reports the creative team is currently working on storylines for the show's final 20 episodes of season 6. Now, she did put out a big statement here on Instagram, basically saying thank you to all the fans who have made this possible. It's kind of her dream come true, the thing you would typically expect them to say, so she did put that out there. But I am someone who watched Supergirl almost from the beginning because, like I said, I was really into the Arrowverse, really into the DC TV shows at the time. I can't say it was like my favorite thing ever, but I did really enjoy the first couple seasons of Arrow, the first season of Flash, and this world started expanding, and I wanted to make sure I kept up with it. That first season on CBS, Supergirl was over there. Then it came over to CW to be with everything else. And it all went downhill. A show that could have been interesting decided to focus entirely on gender, on race, on illegal immigration, on trans rights. Literally, this is the things that the show was about. This is what the show was about, not the great characters and the great possibilities within this universe. No, they had to bring in current day politics, current day incredibly divisive politics to tell their story. Supergirl was originally broadcast on CBS, averaging a 1.68 rating with an average of 7.68 million viewers per episode. Not bad for a cable show, you know, a premiere of a cable show. You see nearly 13 million that first episode for the premiere. Then it, of course, does wane off in the average of just over 7.5 million. At that point, they wanted to bring it over to CW to make sure it was firmly within the Arrowverse. So what happened? Look at season 2. Now, season 2, look at that, 3 million to start off with. You know it's not going to get the same thing it will on CW as opposed to the major network like CBS. But pretty respectable all in all, averaging 2.3 million viewers. I would say that's pretty darn good, especially when you compare it to what the Arrowverse shows get now. They would kill for those type of people tuning in now because what did they do? It's just like I said, right? Supergirl, Nicole Maines, shows her power as TV's first transgender superhero. They made an entire episode about trans people and their struggle, and then had a trans superhero come into play. What else did we have? Oh, here you go. Supergirl will tackle racism in tonight's new episode. Entirely about, the race-swapped Jimmy Olsen and his struggle being a black vigilante and how people will react to him. Just constantly bombarding you with this white guilt nonsense that they want you to feel when you watch this show. But does it stop there? Of course, no, it doesn't stop there. Supergirl and the question of refugees, immigrants, and illegal aliens, because of course, that has to be tackled. We have to preach that Orange Man bad in this TV program, in this fictional story. We must preach that Orange Man is bad. Illegal immigration is good. That is what they are trying to say. And it'd be one thing if they kind of presented both sides of the argument, but they never did that. They just preach to you. That is all it is. You have here 6 reasons why Supergirl is the most relevant show on television. And of course, they talk about female leads, because if you have a female lead, then boom, of course, it's incredible. Relationship between a human and an alien. Yeah, for some reason, trans species relationships, that's very important. What else is important? Oh, no sad gays here, because they had this forced romance, right, between these two characters. A forced romance between Alex and Maggie that for some reason became a huge part of the show. Even though the normie viewers did not want this, they pushed it forward anyway. And of course it ended terribly. So it didn't even work out to what they said here. It ended horribly for them. The primary problem solver is an alien who takes the form of a black man. Yes. Yes, of course. That's very important. That's why it's one of the best shows on TV, right? Inverse. And of course, immigration and the rights of literal aliens. These are the type of people who they were trying to draw. And they got that market. That market stayed there. But unfortunately, the rest of the viewers absolutely vanished, because you fast forward now. Look at in season 3 declines to 1.8, season 4 declines to 1.2, and now 0.8. 800,000 people on average are watching this shit show that is Supergirl. And the entire reason this happened was because of their focus on identity politics. It wasn't because it was a female lead, because it got great ratings when it first came over to CW. But then they went hard with all of the identity politics nonsense, and it bit them. Literally, get woke, go broke. That is what has happened to the Arrowverse in general, and specifically Supergirl. Supergirl itself, right, was the primary reason that I stopped watching the CW. It was, I guess you could say it was the straw that broke the camel's back. Once Arrow started not becoming about Arrow, once every man in the Arrowverse was just this absolute beta cuck, which you see a lot of that in Supergirl as well. All of these things eventually became too much for me to just stomach watching it, and I just gave up on it. And I'm glad I did. I got more time to watch better things or talk about better things than the Arrowverse. But it is sad, because I love DC, and I want to enjoy DC shows that are out there. Now, it should also be noted, I see a lot of people out there talking about this, there is a spin-off, and of course the spin-off of Supergirl is a Superman show, a Lois and Clark show. What do you think? This will be more about Lois and less about Clark and his cuck version of Superman. If I was a betting man, that's probably what I would say, but what do I know? We'll see what happens. There's a bunch of people on Twitter saying not a good look for them to cancel Supergirl when Superman's about to premiere, of course, because that's the only way these people think. They can't see that this show is bleeding viewers. Nobody cares about this show anymore. They've driven everyone who could care about it away. But who knows? Who knows what the future will hold for CW? I think it'll continue to be this. I don't think they've learned their lesson. They are going to virtue signal at all costs, and they will go broke. And when I say go broke, I don't mean CW is going to go broke or anything like that, but the Arrowverse is destroyed. You know, Stephen Amell is gone. Arrow is gone. I think Flash is on its last legs, to be honest with you. Batwoman with the black replacement for Batwoman, we know how that is going to go in its second season. It's over. They just need to cancel everything, to be quite honest, and focus completely on HBO Max and get actual stories that focus on characters instead of identity politics. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.
Can you believe it? A female hero. Nice for my daughter to have someone like that to look up to.
I'm not flying around saving people in this thing. I wouldn't even wear it to the beach. Where's my cape?
Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.